Well, let's see if they'll go for that in game 2. Picks and bans are on their way. And we'll see if Susano is picked up by them, or is it going to be a different story this time around. Dignitas with the first pick option.
It just doesn't seem that necessarily he's comfortable with the Hunbats, or Dignitas have been doing such a great job of really diminishing the usefulness out of the Hunbats from iceicebaby.
So kept Fafnir banned out so far. Rival sticking to the same sort of strategy so far that we saw in game 1.
It seems to me, and it's worked, like Rivals needs to take away the Fafnir from Dignitas. They're still first pick, and yes, there's the soul band that they really need to take away from Zyrhoes. He's talked about it before publicly about just how good this goddess is in the mid lane, but having another interesting magical god is going to be the Morrigan.
I think Zyrhoes' god pool in mid lane is like Sol, Morrigan, Kronos, Freya.
I haven't seen him play Freya
He's
yet,
talked a lot about it, I'll tell you that much.
I'm
Camazotz will be stripped away this time, however, from Dignitas. Rival going to take that for themselves. More than likely for the jungle for Ice.
It could be. I wouldn't be surprised if Deathwalker runs it. If Rival really wanted to try to pull a fast one on Dignitas, I would rather see Susano still on Rival. They have this next pick before the secondary ban phase. Dignitas, they're going to get Osiris yet again for variety, and it's working out for him quite well. And this Ravana, this is a deadly frontline bruiser combination for Dignitas.
Poor variety, man. Like, all games this week is just like, Osiris.
I guess I'll play Osiris.
Osiris every game. But it's working out well for him. You can see the team performance on that god so far. 8 times picks, 7 wins. It's not a bad stat line to stick to it. But talking about stat lines, Morrigan, 5 games played, 5 games won for Dignitas.
It's a very tricky god to really deal with, and the way Dignitas has been playing this entire split is nothing but solid and trickiness together. Luckily, though, for Rival, Dignitas hasn't banned away the Susano, so this time they might be able to get some plays going on for iceicebaby.
Khepri this time round for Callus, went for the Geb option last game. Decides to switch it up a little bit more here, and that kind of works with a Camazotz and a Bellona on the team.
Yeah, that definitely works. As I was saying about the Susano, I realized that the Camazotz was already locked in, so that will be for iceicebaby, as the Bellona will be for Deathwalker. Great tanky frontline for Rival. They have the sustain from Camazotz. Bellona's going to be able to provide protections with that Eagle's Rally, and you can't forget about the defensive options out of Khepri as well.
Terra and Jing for the dual lane. A dangerous dual lane back when it was first released, those two gods, because they came onto the scene and caused a lot of problems. Now, though, not so much. Jingwei kind of faded into non-existence, but she's back again.
Well, when Jingwei was first released, it was about the Athena-Jingwei combination. Taunt into the knockup, but Terra can also set that up very well, and not to mention that global presence with a blessing is just going to provide so much mobility, cooldown reduction, clear casting, everything you would really want for a team fight.
And those no mobility coming out from Terra as well going to be very helpful for Ravana and Osiris to be able to run down the backline if required. Maybe save their ultimates a little bit longer to be able to disengage or even commit further.
And what I really liked for the Jingwei pick for Arkkyl was how the first game played out. There was just no action in the dual lane anyway between Vode and Arkkyl, so you might as well be picking one of the most efficient farming gods in the game. And the way Jingwei's passive works is once you leave the fountain, you're basically at your tier 2 for free.
Yeah. Free as a day as long as well, because you can actually just farm back harpies on cooldown too, which is a nice thing. Just deny for your jungle a little bit, but putting your hunter ahead is never a bad thing.
It also allows your jungle to start focusing on the soul lane more anyway, since they know that those left side back harpies will be on cooldown.
Well, bad news bears. Deathwalker looking for the spicy start from the solo laner in the mid lane, but he was stepped in on a ward the entire time. Dignitas knew exactly what was going on with that, so he just allowed them to just keep themselves positioned nicely and forced Deathwalker to actually just get out pushed in lane at the start of the game in favor for variety to get a bit of an advantage.
Dignitas are not letting Rival invade the speed buff, and as a result, they're going to have to back on out. Variety getting smacked by Deathwalker at level 1 currently, needing to see a little bit more out of him. But
so surprised he didn't clear the whole minions there totally either, because he was in the lane a few seconds earlier than that of Deathwalker, but I think he tanked a few of them up early on.
Yeah, I think what Variety was trying to do was use some of his abilities before the minions hit him halfway, and as a result, probably tanked a little more than he really wanted to. And Deathwalker has more health potions here than Variety. He started off with more health potions. Both of them went for those chalices. And Variety, he's not going to be able to stay in lane as long as Deathwalker, especially with that Scourge on Bellona.
Well, you do see the dual lanes both have their red buffs available to themselves. Purple buff still available for Dignitas to take. Instead of going for their purple, the investing going towards the oracles. Nothing really happened in the dual lane whatsoever at the start, Tolly, because they both started in the jungle and just like trading off equally. One goes in the jungle as one farms, and then one farms as one goes in the jungle.
It just seems seems that they're more concerned about really waiting for that mid-game portion, respecting that early game is not worth taking such a big risk to be offensive unless you have a guaranteed play that you've been practicing in scrims and behind the scenes that you can execute. Both of these teams might have something in the pocket that they would want to show for Valencia, but not at week 4, where Dignitas is already clinched and Rival are almost there.
Well, they're almost there, but they need to find points, and right now they don't have any so far in this set. Vote going to get hit by the crushing walls.
Wow.
Beautiful damage combination coming out from Dignitas. And Arkkyl going to commit a little bit further. Callus with a nice abduct will stop that idea. But you were talking about the start of this game, and I'm looking at builds here, Tolly. Book of Top Tier 2 worked on already by Wlfy. Didn't go with a starter item on the Vulcan here. It's risky, but it's rewarded if you can get away with it.
The way the passive of Vulcan works, as long as you connect your abilities on an enemy god, you get mobility and MP5. So as long as you're accurate, you get 2 star items technically. You're getting boots and you're also getting kind of some
Ice Ice engaged there, looking for a bit of a plan to Zyrhoes, but he got juked out. In the end, Ice Ice was forced to ult. He was a little bit worried about further engagement coming out from Dignitas there, which wasn't really on its way.
No ultimates even being expended from Dignitas. And keep in mind, Zyrhoes can transform to any one of these gods here. He can easily transform into even Trixtank on the Terra just to find some more stuns. And with the slows from QvoFred, that's enough damage to really lock anyone down.
And generally, you don't always look as a Morrigan towards the survivable gods or the sustaining gods or the CC gods. You look for the damage dealers. And Wlfy's playing that Vulcan. Zyrhoes has a good Vulcan in his god pool. He was one of the only junglers to really ever pull it out when he used to play jungle in the jungle.
I mean, he used to, pull out Isis every now and then, Shibalanke.
Yeah, but to be fair, it was Tyr Vulcan with the real 2 that he used to always do when he jungled himself.
And then when he went mid, he brought out Thanatos mid.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what, I'm going to play a different role, but I'm going to play that god instead.
Just kind of felt how junky he was. That's all it felt like with Zyrhoes. But he started to stabilize his god pool a little bit. Granted, he's the one that's been bringing back some of these magical hunters back towards the mid lane and started this epidemic yet again of seeing them in competitive play.
I mean, who needs Celestial Legion Helmet back in Season 3 when you can still do plenty of damage? All of those magical hunters still has usefulness in certain team fights. The question is, can you survive the early game with your teammates to be useful in the mid stage? And the way Zyrhoes and Dignitas plays, they revolve around making sure that Zyrhoes doesn't get necessarily outpushed too much.
When Arkkyl gets outplayed by his own gust. That feels bad, man. All he wanted to do is pick up his buff, and he couldn't. Qvo and Trixtank falling back to their half of the map as iceicebaby, Wlfy, and Callus were on the hunt for a potential bit of poke damage. Speed buff isn't available right now as Qvo already has it, but it is available for iceicebaby on the right-hand side to go and get for himself.
And that's why QvoFred is rotating towards the left. It just seems that he's one step above iceicebaby every single time, and now getting these left side mid harpies while iceicebaby is trying to make something happen in mid.
Trix gonna get you that backfire as iceicebaby pokes down Zyrhoes a little bit. Not a bad result there for Rival in the grand engagement of skirmishes go. Oracles are available right now and Rival rotating towards them, but Arkkyl trying to strip them away quickly enough before Rival can turn up.
Oh, needs to find that one last hit to confirm the vision, but it's going to be split 1 for 1. The patience from Arkkyl. I really like the fact that he let that one go. It's not really worth combating a 3-member squad here for just a minute worth of vision.
Game completely even as it stands right now. Variety's just a little bit behind in terms of experience right now, but hit level 7. As you can see, as you look at the sharing of experience in gold flow goes, we are at an even stage at 5 minutes in, which is a good thing for both teams, I feel, this one time.
Definitely better for Rival, because at this pace of the game, it wasn't until the 10-minute mark of the last game where we saw the first blood from Dignitas onto iceicebaby, so at least iceicebaby isn't behind this time around. He's sitting the same exact level as QvoFred, whereas last game he was about 2 levels at this stage.
Deathwalker completely out of mana here, but has the blue buff ticking away at him. We'll get a nice bludgeon off, but minion advantage is in favor of Dignitas here, and they're going to commit heavily to Deathwalker because of that. Double follow-up from double ultimates from Dignitas, and that's what happens. Variety's still alive, though, until iceicebaby should be able to clean this up.
Oh, he missed.
He's going to hit the second one, though.
No, he missed the second one, too. The third one's the charm, but it's QvoFred cleaning it up. Terra's blessing was so important for that tower dive. If that doesn't come out in effect, then easily Variety will die even before leaving the tower, and QvoFred wouldn't even find the trade kill.
Tell you what, though, Tolly, Callus was so close to getting his ultimate off, and I think he thought there was a chance that we would have seen the survival actually coming out from iceicebaby, so he didn't want to use the ultimate, I guess, looking for the root instead. Makes it a 1-for-1 on that right-hand side, so gold is still in favor of Dig, just based off the fact we saw a kill.
Yeah, they definitely got that first blood, and they got the trade trade kill after the fact, so they're going to start getting a little bit of momentum as we approach the 7-minute mark. But Rival have still done a great job of not allowing any speed buff invade, so as long as they keep Dignitas at bay behind the neutral midline, then they could still look for ways to get back into this one.
Elementals on the right going to go the way of Dignitas with 3 members group, but Rival are grouping up nicely on the left-hand side in response. Wlfy has been started here with a Vulcan. This is a nice opportunity, and remember, no ultimate available for Zyrhoes this time to stop this. Wlfy goes the way of Rival, but Ice was so low, but Arkkyl got baited by the bracer.
They're trying to go in. Wlfy taking a lot of damage. Trixtank is body blocking everybody with the stun. Here comes Qvo jumping over the top. The ultimate from Cal is keeping Wlfy alive, but Arkyl's going to get him instead.
Oh, I don't know if Wlfy can get away from this. A backfire by him at window to get the speed boost away. Ice gets hit by the persistent gust, but Trix is trying to swing round.
Not able to really find it, but he's just buying time as the rest of his teammates dive Wlfy under that tier 1 tower. So despite the goal fear from Rival, they lose 2 members in the process.
And they're still potentially hunting iceicebaby here. Doesn't have too much escapability other than that leap that gets him away from the root. But Dignitas find the red buff.
You know, it's a very short jump coming out of Camazotz, but it disjoints everything, giving you some CC immunity after the first initial action. And that's what's so important about mechanics here in Smite, as long as you time it away from certain abilities. Because he was in range of that root, guaranteed, but surviving with that disjoint.
And that's a benefit of having some of these leaps. And a couple of leaps on this squad with obviously Jing here. Now level 11. Has the Arkkyl online, does Arkkyl here. And obviously we generally see crit builds coming out for the Jing as time goes on, generally in the later stages. Deathwalker, though, under pressure, forced to ult defensively.
Trixtank now wanting to use that Terra's Blessing to dive that, along with Variety, who does have his ultimate. Not too much mana to really dive that. Really afraid of the counter rotations at a Rival. Considering Fury's down here on the left-hand side, there would be a lot of focus on the solo lane.
And that's a big key here. With Fury being down, Rival did a very good job of evening this game up again. Could have started to get a little bit out of control, especially when you look at the kill difference between the two teams. But that Fury's just answered back the lead that Dignitas once had.
Being able to just keep the game relatively even. iceicebaby looking to be aggressive here against Trixtank on the right side jungle, but it's actually iceicebaby forcing to retreat in that bad. It's Terra's Blessing being popped by Trixtank. Variety's going to be able to try to tether out too, but it looks like they're going to be safe.
But meanwhile, Zyrhoes will solo down Wlfy in mid, turning into his teammate QvoFred, the Ravana, to pick up the kill there. Now with that pressure in the mid lane, he can rotate round to the right where the blue buff has been taken by Variety, and they're looking to pick up Deathwalker, who does not have his ultimate available.
Callus does. He's looking for the right opportunity. He's trying to get stunned out. Trixtank stuns out Callus, but it's not before the ultimate. But everyone from Dignitas shifting their attention towards the north, and now not able to get Deathwalker because of the mobility that Scarab's Blessing provides you.
They got baited by the Scarab's Blessing too much. They were trying to time the pop into the Scarab's Blessing into hitting Callus and the revival of Deathwalker coming through, and in the end, they dropped kills because of it.
They also even tried to stun out Callus right before he popped that Scarab's Blessing. A nice attempt from Team Dignitas, but still an overall win there. They get off a lot of defensive ultimates. They were able to chase down so many members away from this tier 1 tower that it's going to get chipped away, and Variety is going to be able to squeeze in this wave while Deathwalker lost quite a bit of gold under that tower.
And now at 10 minutes in, the Pole Demon will spawn as the Elementals fall to the wayside. This is an opportunity now for a little bit more gold and experience in this, right? Or as well, control, totally.
And it's all about the experience here from Dignitas. Over 4,000 in the lead. Gold, not so much, or less than 2,000. So you're really looking at these levels here. And if we look at the scoreboard just to see where all these players stand, it's a 1-level lead here for Zyrhoes. And yet again, when this mid-game happens, QvoFred just seems to always be ahead of iceicebaby. This 3-level differential just out of nowhere.
So still farming up his Arkkyl on this left-hand side. Looks like he's working towards Executioner. Oh, Executioner next, I'm expecting. We'll see as that one goes on. Right-hand side, still some pressure from Dignitas now as rivals start to turn their attention to warding up around the fire and the Pole Demon.
They really want to try to catch somebody slipping. It's Variety trying to retreat alongside Trixtank. Callus leading the charge underneath. The stun is going to buy time, but the root is good. Here comes Eagle Traveling
and
Vulcan.
In comes the Vulcan ult too. Trix will survive for now, but under the tower, they will dive with the bat out of hell from iceicebaby, picking them up 1 kill. cost them a lot for 4 men to rotate to pick up just a support there. Can they get anything else off this? Portal Demon potentially up, speed buff just spawning, but I don't think Rival recognize that.
No, not quite yet, but Variety was poked out a little bit. It's actually Dignitas QvoFred invading during that whole little skirmish.
And now he's going to box out iceicebaby, who takes a lot more damage than he expected to. Has to use his Brace of Undying early on there to try and resustain back up, but still Iceice on the run as Deathwalker rotates around the back. No Eagles Rally available for him to escape this. The airstrike comes through. Callus has used the ultimate again onto Deathwalker, who's only 1 hit, and the punch from Zyrhoes will not be good enough to pick up Deathwalker, who skips away again.
Variety trying to catch Deathwalker over the tier 2 tower, not able to find it. Zyrhoes is going to be able to retreat while Arkkyl is flirting with that portal demon. Nice little teleport from Deathwalker is going to buy himself some time, but it's Variety on the backhand side onto Wlfy.
And Wlfy's 1 hit from death again. Lord of the Afterlife didn't really hit. Zyrhoes looking to clean up Wlfy, though. 1 more hit will do it. Meanwhile, Callus is very low on mana, and Zyrhoes still chasing Wlfy, finds the kill, but Vote will now find the Morrigan. iceicebaby leaps around the left-hand side to get away, but Qvo's there to pick up the pieces. Deathwalker can only watch as his brethren falls down. Deathwalker has the Eagles Rally available, may need to use it defensively, and will do so.
Trying to dive the backline. Variety taking a little bit of poke as well. It's a 2 for nothing thus far from Dignitas, doing wonders here, being able to pull Rival one way, push them the other. Variety from the back, Trixtank from the front, making this pincer maneuver. Nowhere to go for Rival. Wlfy just getting between a rock and a hard place.
This just doesn't feel like Rival today for me, totally. They just seem a little bit off the entire time. Not exactly sure what it is, because normally they're very good at collapsing, picking up kills very quickly, and then looking to either snowball that into objectives or disengage. At the moment, it's not working out so well for them. Either they're hanging around too long, or Dignitas just have their number.
It's just Dignitas being in a league of their own. It's Arkkyl trying to hold the goal here against 2. Will do so successfully. This level 14 Jing Wei with just a persistent gust is really enough to stop the Gold Fury attempt, because if you can manage to push somebody away from the circle, Gold Fury will find the reset.
Credit where it's due to QvoFred's play in this set too. We spoke about him last year potentially being one of the best junglers in the world up against that of adapting, but failing to do very well and make it to the World Championships put Qvo on the back burner. This set we saw his Camazotz game in game 1, and looking at game 2, he once again has a 4-level lead over iceicebaby in the jungle. 4 kills to his name. He's done very good work in this jungle position.
It just seems that Rival are more focused about the Camazotz taken away from QvoFred. Like, what has iceicebaby really done with his Camazotz instead of diving that tier 1 tower to kill Trixtank that one time? Other than that, not too many plays, and yet again, I'm still looking back at the draft and be like, why didn't they get the Susanoo?
Well, red buff going to go the way of Dignitas, stolen away again, and Dignitas just trying to keep this pressure up as long as they can. They know speed buff should be spawned on the right-hand side soon, as Callus going to get hit by those walls and rooted straight after. In comes Zyrhoes looking for the follow-up, but gets hit by the meatballs, so that'll slow down that little skirmish.
Dignitas really know how to trade effectively. They're poking out Callus to about 50% of their health, barely taking any poke in return. QvoFred yet again trying to steal away the speed buff. Won't get it this time, but iceicebaby is in a lot of trouble.
He committed heavily here for the ultimate. His ultimate's already on cooldown. He leapt in, which means he's got no real escape right now. This means a full collapse from Dignitas to pick up the bat. They're still doing a good job of juking out with the speed, but he's still going to fall down.
And he's running away from his support. Callus was trying to get in position to use that ultimate, but iceicebaby kept going south and really not trusting his teammates to survive him.
Credit where it's due, though, to Trixtank keeping Callus away as much as possible too, which benefits Dignitas even more. With a 3k gold lead, they can now turn their attention to gold.
Second goal here being started here, but it's the first one secured for Dignitas. Still a lot of action. The mid lane getting caught between a rock and a hard place is Callus.
Callus is already dead. Airstrike picks him up from Arkkyl. Vote takes out Trixtank though, but Deathwalker and Vote still very, very low up against 4 men of Dignitas, looking extremely healthy. Qvo gets himself the 6th kill of the game as Deathwalker can only watch.
Sacrificing himself for the greater good. Trixtank getting Callus and Vote in response. Tier 1 tower might be looked at here from Dignitas unless they want to start looking their way towards this portal demon.
The problem we've got now is that Rival keep taking fights against Dignitas where Dignitas keep winning. I think they need to slow down on the engagements now, Toller, because it's not working for them at all. Every single engage is 1 for potentially 3 or 4 against them.
I mean, this is just getting to be a slippery slope for a Rival. Whenever a jungler is level 15 and both soul laners are level 13, just now hitting 14 is Variety, you're looking at a very efficient farmer here out of QvoFred, just a league of his own.
Yeah, it's caused a lot of problems here for Rival, and particularly iceicebaby, who's having tricky times trying to get any sort of farm in this game, consistently being CC'd out and kept chipped away. Some of that probably is down to the brace of undoing that he picked up. Didn't go for the Aegis, didn't go for the actual beads. He went for the option of the regen, which you don't necessarily need as a Camazotz.
That's true. Like, you're relying on your passive for sustain. You're also relying on your second ability to get some of those options available, but it's Rival trying to keep their tier 1 tower alive. Wlfy missing the meatball off the mark. Very gonna take off some poke from Deathwalker, but at the end of the day, Dignitas still very comfortable.
The danger man, though, is QvoFred. He is 2 levels above his solo laner right now. That's how good of a game this Raven's having. And with Trixtank just setting him up for this potential situation time and time again, he can rotate and cause problems like this.
And not only that, Arkkyl has been quietly farming as well. He's sitting at level 17, 1 level ahead of QvoFred.
And once again, iceicebaby in the sky using the battle hell, trying to resustain. Too little, too late. Qvo gets another kill. Bellona engages in onto 3 targets, trying to keep the battle alive, and instead he gets body blocked to high heaven. And in the end, the mystical male, or should I say QvoFred, who is basically mystical male in this game, gets another kill and forces Callus to reset again. Qvo's just going off.
Just great discipline as well from Qvo. Like, all right, here comes Vote. I'm not really going to take this 1v2 under the tier 2 tower while the rest of my team are splitting between mid tier 1, solo tier 1. Dignitas are just all over the place.
And looking at how this game's gone, I'm not sure if it's just iceicebaby specifically who's had a bad set, or it's just Dignitas' playstyle has run into Rival and they've kept the jungler at bay the entire set.
It just seems that Dignitas... Wow.
Not too surprising one aspect of this to see a surrender vote coming out. It did look doom and gloom for them.
Yeah.
It would have been 40-50 minutes at best to potentially get back into that, but even then, when you look towards the late game, it kind of evened out because the Morrigan.
Normally, whenever a team surrenders, you're thinking about like the first game of the set, and then they're trying to clear their head for the second game. But to surrender a second game when there's no more games to go on for the set, that's a little questionable to me personally as a former player. But it makes sense. Like, okay, we're sitting at 9 points right now. As long as Enix doesn't win their set against Elevate, they're still feeling very comfortable here. They just want to get in the best mentality heading into next week.
The problem is, though, is they don't get any points, which means they're in 3rd place as it stands, with other teams still to play this week, which means next week could be even more telling for the boys of Rival. Happy days for Dig, though. They get the 2-0, which gives them 3 points and keeps them nice and clear at the top.
That's true. It's just Dignitas and Obey Alliance really battling for that 1st place position. And what is it? There's a 4-point separation right now between Dignitas and Obey Alliance, and they play next week, so Dignitas clinch 1st seed. Yeah,
they should be able to clinch 1st seed with that. We'll double check that, though. That's why we're always so hesitant about giving away those sort of things. For now, though, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back for the 3rd set of Europe Today.